didn't stop me. We never think about it, but in those times, Myron and I shared and endured a lot of crazy, insane, serious situations together. There were moments where we were being chased down an icy, dark highway at speeds exceeding well over 100 miles per hour. At that point, it didn't matter if they killed us or left us for dead. Like Myron once said, this is the second decade of the 21st century, and this is not our first ride. We've been dealing with colonization well over 500 years. The battle was everywhere, and the one I find the hardest was raging inside me, and it was just getting started. I think he figured after all my crazy stunts and out there maneuvers, he slowly began to see it and feel it become more alive each day, that we literally blessed and saged down the drones, each and every one of them, when we flew them. That's when he started to realize just how wild and crazy it is piloting such drones, even more unpredictable knowing who the pilot is. I told him that's what drone to be wild is all about, laughing. I jokingly told him that I will take his indigenous eyes myself and show him. But the stories are true, and the rest is history. It was later Ego sang his last song. I literally did take his indigenous eyes. The title of my first published book was Through Indigenous Eyes, The Rise of Standing Rock Movement. Myron was filled with excitement and joy when he told me, wow, I didn't know at the time, but he told me a story how he wrote that same title on each and every one of his term papers during his college and university years. It was many moons later as I became a more wiser man, I began to understand why he was so important in my life in those unforgettable times. Humbled, he helped me open my indigenous eyes to remind me of my connection to earth and sky and the importance of my purpose and the way of life we all have flowing in the aura of our culture and traditions. How beautiful and unique we are as indigenous people. He was a rare gem amongst our people. Very grateful I got to share moments with him and felt so good to have him in the sky with me in those days. I will always appreciate everything he has ever shared with me, even the moments we never agreed with each other. They're all important in some special way. His words hold truth. They're even stronger when spoken in his Paiute language. He is medicine and a healer for his people. He may be gone from this earth and his spirit way beyond the Milky Way, but his prayers that he fought and died for are all still here on this earth. Prayers that keep us on the path, to keep us strong-minded and reminding all of us that there's still a lot of work to be done. He would always say, use your energy for something worthy of great change and not on things or someone who keeps pretending for the future that is nearing. It was all a shock for all of us to know he left us so tragically, but he fought tough to the very end. With the power of prayer and the memories we created and held, I feel him all around. He is the earth we walk upon and the sky we breathe. He is the stars that shine bright for us when at times darkness seems so heavy. He is the dreams we are becoming and the reason we fight to protect the sacred. But I actually get to see him from time to time when I fly my drone. He visits me and flies circles around me, swooping down upon me like the red-tailed hawk he has become. For a brief moment, I do get to fly with him once again and feel his presence. He is the only one who can push me to the limit. I see he found a way to continue to build and shape my craft and skill. I miss him dearly, just as much as I miss my mother and dearest friend Diane Diamond. All three of them meant so much to me in my life. Myron Dewey brought me so much insight to life. I will always honor and respect his legacy and his essence. He never belittled me nor talked bad about me. Even when I was at my darkest days, he never judged me nor looked at me differently. He always had something inspiring and interesting to say to me. He always made me feel like I had something so great, so grand within me. He reminded me always about the ancestors and what they went through fighting and dying for us next generation. And when he talked about it, I felt every word he spoke. I watched his words become alive, that I felt the great power flowing through us, around us, within us. You know that flow state we all find ourselves falling with? A very special soul who came into my life, time to pass on his journey, his heart, and his indigenous eyes. Miss you, big brother. Just me, that crazy drone pilot, Shiye.